Hello. Yeah, this is probably gonna be another vent. I know I said I was gonna try not to do another vent, but yeah. I don't know. I don't really feel like there are necessarily people, at least in real life, I can talk to about things. Unfortunately, especially because relationships tend to have their ups and downs, and yeah. Especially when you have borderline personality disorder and you take things way too seriously and way too personally, and then people flip out. Like, I was talking to my mom, I think Saturday, and she was, like, we were talking, and then she said, like, she said something about her dryer having died. But before that, she said that she was wondering how much money I had to give her because I owe her money. So she's wondering, like, how much of my refund for school I had left to give her. But I asked her why, and her reason was, oh, my dryer died, because my dryer died. And the way that I took it was, like, that she expected me to pay for it, and, like, I just felt like, I can't really articulate it very well, but I felt like she was putting that responsibility on me, kind of, and, like, I was just expected to just do it, and, I don't know, I just kind of took it way too personally, and I got mad at her and we were ramming, and I just started ignoring her, like, I wasn't responding, and, because I needed to calm down a little bit, because I was getting really, really, really worked up. And after a little while, I had calmed down a bit, and I told her how it made me feel. Like, I specifically said that that was how I felt. That wasn't necessarily what I thought or the truth. And she got mad at me, apparently, and then she ignored me. And my younger brother, who I was also IMing, told me that our mom was mad at me. And that just made me feel worse, because she just, yeah, I was at just because she didn't like the fact that I said something, spoke up, or she didn't like what I said, but the only reason I said that was because it was bothering me, and I felt like I should say something about it, because it was bothering me. So it's kind of like, the message or at least how I took it from her reaction was, you're not just to mention how you feel. If it's gonna bother, like, if I'm not gonna like it, then you shouldn't mention it. You shouldn't bring it up. And it just made me feel like I can't talk to her. And she's made me feel like that on several occasions, and it's just kind of frustrating, because it's just like I'm not allowed to talk to you about certain things because you can't, I don't know, can't handle it if you don't like it. And Saturday was a really, really, really bad night, a really bad, I don't know if the day was necessarily bad, but the night wound up being really bad. I wound up having, like, I keep having these waves of anxiety that wash over me, and it just seems kind of like deja vu, but it just makes me really anxious. That's, like, the best way I can describe it, about the best way I can describe it. And so that happened earlier on, and then my younger brother started talking to me, and he said that, he was like, oh, great news, and then he's like, oh, there's going to be a funeral, and people are going to come from all around the land. And for some reason, I thought, like, that just, not the great news part, but the funeral part made me think that, like, something had happened to my grandmother. And already having been anxious and stressed out, I just kind of, like, overreacted and just became really anxious, and it didn't wind up going well, because he got mad at me thinking that I thought that he was so heartless and cold and would joke about something like that, when he just meant that my mom's dryer had died, which wasn't really a shocker, because it had been messed up for a while, but it's just like how I interpreted it was wrong, but it made me freak out, and then I told him, and then he got mad at me, and it's just like, it's really annoying. And one thing that sucks too is, kind of related but kind of not, is the fact that I don't really have people I can go and hang out with or I can do things with. I'm pretty much, like, unless I'm at home, I'm pretty much by myself. And even when I'm at home, sometimes I'm just, like, in my room, or I won't necessarily go out with my family, partially because I don't necessarily feel like going out, or I don't want to go out where they're going, or because I don't know where the heck they're going, so I don't know if I'm going to want to go there. Because my mom likes to say, like, oh, we're going, or she's going places and doing things when I ask her where she's going for the day, to see, like, if I want to go with her. And that, to me, like, I'd rather know. Not necessarily, like, set in stone. This is where we're going. This is, from this time to this time, we're going to be there. And then we're going to be somewhere else from this time to that time. I don't necessarily need to know that, but to have a general idea, I'd rather have that than just, oh, I'm going out places, I'm going places and I'm doing things. Like, to me, that's just, I don't know, I just would rather have more of an answer, like an actual answer. But yeah, so when I'm on campus, like I am now, like I said, I don't really have people I can hang out with. It kind of feels pathetic to say this, especially because I'm almost 21, but I don't really have friends in real life. I don't have someone I can call up and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to go do X, Y, or Z? And go do that with them. I don't have anyone I can rely on or talk to or any of that in real life. Like, I have people online, but I'm not going to say I don't like having people to talk to online, because I have some friendships that I've had for years that are with people that I only know online and may never ever see in my life, in real life. But I wish that I did have people I could hang out with. I mean, sometimes I really just don't feel like doing anything and going anywhere and being around people, but I think part of that is because when I am around people, I feel like I don't really fit in, and like, I can talk to people and have a conversation, like if it's in class or something, or like when I was going to get my books, or some of my school supplies from one of the bookstores near campus for the semester. I struck up a conversation with some of the people when we were waiting in line, because the line was ridiculously long and it was slow moving. But those tend not to go anywhere. And if I have acquaintances, I don't have friendships. Throughout the years, I have had friendships, but the problem is that all of them, except for I think like one of them, which ended in a massive fight because she turned out to be a total biatch, but I'm not going to get into that. Most of them have wound up just like drifting. We've just drifted apart. Usually when they move away, then we kind of lose contact, or we're not as close. Like, my best friend in middle school, like, she moved to where I used to live, and started at my school. I can't remember exactly. It was like a few weeks. I want to say like 3 or 6 weeks into 6th grade, and actually, like, we met on the school bus because she lived in my subdivision, and like, I used to sit in the front and like in a certain seat, and like, we started talking because she was sitting in my seat, and we struck up a friendship. But then she moved away in 9th grade. Like, she moved so that she still went to the same high school, but we no longer were on the same bus. We didn't live in the same subdivision, so we kind of just drifted apart. That's been the story of my life. If I actually do have a friendship or a relationship in real life, unless it's family, it winds up dissolving. Not like there's a big blow up and there's a fight over whatever the heck and it's irreconcilable, or we feel like it's irreconcilable and therefore we go our different ways. It's just we drift apart, and it sucks. Because it's like, you have someone and then you don't, and actually, I haven't had someone that I could talk to or hang out with, or just be myself around and have fun with in a while, and in years, I think, and it sucks, and it's probably not helping my mood and all that, because I'm just like, I'm by myself, and I'm just in my own thoughts, and I just feel like I'm a loser and worthless and all this stuff because I don't have anyone to hang out with. But I feel like I don't necessarily have the skills. I feel like I missed the day in elementary school or whatever. I remember they taught it in preschool, because I never went to preschool, when they went over how to form and keep relationships, because I'm missing that. I really don't know how to do that, which really sucks, because I'd really like friendships, and potentially even a boyfriend or a girlfriend, someone who shares my interests, someone who I get along with, someone who makes me happy but who I can also make happy, and we can just be ourselves around each other. We don't feel like we have to pretend and act a certain way to get the other to like each other, like the other. But I don't know how to do that, and it really hurts. Like, I hate feeling so isolated and being so isolated and feeling so alone. Like, I can remember in kindergarten not fitting in and not getting along. In elementary school, like, I hated gym. Not necessarily because it was gym, but in my elementary school, it was pretty much every day, or from what I can remember, you would be put into pairs, into teams of usually like 2, and I was almost, if not always, the odd one out, so I always had to go and work with another group, and I felt like I was intruding and they didn't want me in their group, and it just made me feel even worse about myself. And it's just, hold on a second. It's just really irritating and frustrating, because I don't know what I have to do in order to change that. Because if I knew what I had to do in order to change that, I would change that. However, I must say that, oh no, wait, no. Actually, scratch that. I didn't go back to my apartment after my class on Thursday. I forgot. They had a thing on depression in the student center, and it's pretty much just stuff I knew and whatever, and I think I might have been the only student there, and I think the rest of the people were staff, but whatever. I went to that, and then there was the LGBT Resource Center's Welcome Back thing, which was actually kind of lame, because there wasn't really all that much going on. There wasn't really food I'd eat there, and there weren't really people to talk to. But I went to that for a little while afterwards, and then I went downstairs and got Subway, and I wound up bumping into someone that I wound up having this really intense, in-depth conversation after Jamie Tarkowski came to my campus 2 years ago and spoke. And so we wound up talking for a little while, because he was in between classes and I was procrastinating on getting some of my reading done for my classes. That seems to be a common theme for me, just procrastinating on doing reading. Like, I should be reading right now, but shh. Yeah. So I enjoyed that, but that's actually a rare occurrence. I don't usually go out and hang out with people and talk to them and enjoy spending time, or get to enjoy spending time in other people's company. So, yeah. I don't know. If anyone has any suggestions on how to make or form and keep friendships, excuse me, I'd be more than happy to hear them. Yeah. I think this is long enough. Take care, everyone.